I'm excited. Hey, hey. Hey, some of my faves are here. I muted myself so I could yell at my son. Definitely, Jeremy. Yes, I'm trying to have more fun in all times. Hi, everybody. Why, thank you. Hey, I'm glad we got a good number of folks here as we get started. So we'll give it like 2 minutes or so. Thank you. Um, Post start time to get going. But in the meantime, share with everybody, put it on everyone for your chat, where you're from, and something that you are happy about. Let's see some of those responses. Hi, look at some of my faves are here. Um, don't forget to drop down to everyone so everybody can see you in the chat. Want to know where you're from, and if you choose to, something you are happy about. One of my favorite things is seeing how many people come from all different places to attend this. And so if you don't know me, I'm Paula Edgar. I'm from Brooklyn. Um, Yay. All my peeps are here. Another Paula. Hi, Paula Daniel. All right. Gonna give it one more minute and then we'll get started. Hey, Brooklyn. All right. Oh, Marlboro, New Jersey. Okay. Now, don't forget, y'all, if you want everybody to see your stuff, make sure you have it set to everyone. Otherwise, I'll see it and I'll be glad, but no one else will know. Um, yes, community. Hey, Long Island. All right. Oh, yes. Come on, Jamaica. Yay. All right. Giving it a few more minutes. Maybe one and a half. Hey. Some of my favorites are in the space, and I'm so excited to see all of you in this new year. We made it. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and get started shortly by giving you um, some information that'll help us to navigate the session. But I want to see, oh, Dallas, Germany. Yes. Toronto, come on. Let's go, Pennsylvania. Okay. East Harlem. Awesome. Okay, Houston, Texas. Sorry, I gotta do that. I gotta do that whenever I say Houston, Texas, baby. Okay. Bay Area, yes. Come on, BA. H-Town down. That's right. Yes. All right. Now that I know everybody's from everywhere, which I love, I was seeing if we do have a couple international in terms of some Canadians in the space. Last year we had somebody from Japan. Welcome to you all, and I'm happy to have you here. This is me. So I am Paula Edgar, and I am the CEO of PGE Consulting Group. I have many, many titles, but one of my favorite ones is a host of Branding Room Only. It's a podcast. If you haven't heard it, I'll be talking about it several times throughout today's session because I love it. I am also a leader. I lead in many organizations, including being a current officer in the New York City Bar Association. I am a past president of the Metropolitan Black Bar Association, of which we have many, many members and folks here, including the current president and the immediate past president, and the president-elect. And I'm also a commissioner on the ABA's Commission on Women in the Profession, something I'm very excited about to be able to be impactful in the space of advancing equity for women. In addition to that, I am a speaker and consultant, and my primary client is law firms and lawyers, but I do work across industry. And my favorite topic in case you didn't know already, is personal branding, of which I am passionate about. And so let's get rocking. Here's how we're going to navigate today's session. So you see on the screen, you have the website menti.com, and that code that'll take you to the same place we're going to be using to navigate today's session. You can use the link I just put in the chat, or you can use the QR code. Those will be on subsequent slides. So if you don't get it now, you will be able to get it. But it's a way for you to respond to some of the prompts anonymously. But you are welcome to also respond to the prompts in the chat. Hi, Pittsburgh. All right. So, hey, St. Louis. Okay. So you'll see now on your screen, if you have gone to the Menti screen, it just says comments or questions. And when I have actual prompt questions for you, it'll change as we go along. I have two screens here so that I can see your responses as we're going, just so I know it's working. Somebody, I don't know, type something into the Menti so that I know it's working. I trust the internet, but not fully. So there's that. So let me just make sure it is doing what it's supposed to do. So please type something on there, and then I will know that it's working. So again, using the link, and we're going to use this throughout the whole session. So make sure you have it up either on your phone or on an iPad or another window. The most important thing here is that you need to take notes. So whether you take notes on a computer or on paper, which I actually prefer for goal setting, you do need to take notes, because this is just a catalyst for what we're doing, but it's not, there's some work you're going to have to do after this. And I want to make sure that you're capturing what you're saying as we go along. Oh, somebody says the Menti's not working. Okay, see, this is why I don't trust the internet. So tell me if you can see, if you go into the Menti. Okay, there we go. Just kidding. I know how to use the internet. You're fine. Okay, there we go. I see you. Okay. Whew. All right, there we are. Yes. Okay, you can comment. Beautiful. Excellent. So we are back. And so before we get started, I want to thank the Metropolitan Black Bar Association, otherwise known as MBBA, and the Garden State Bar Association, GSBA, because they are co-sponsors of today's session, which they have been for several years. If you are not a member of either one of the organizations and you are eligible to be a member, I encourage you to do so, because they are transformative when it comes to professional development, community, and connections. I can truly say, and not even joking, that some of my best friends are within those organizations. And I welcome you as a past president and lifetime member to join us in those spaces. So now that I have done my plug, which I will continue to do because I'm here. All right, let's go. So we are going to be talking about goals today. We're also going to be talking about intentions, and I have a lot that I want to go through. And what I want you to know is that in order to do this process, it's very emotional. It doesn't seem like it's going to be, but what I have learned is that a lot of people don't actually document their goals or their intentions. And it's really why I wanted to do these sessions, is because I wanted to, number one, hold myself accountable, but also to have others in the process do it where they're actually writing it down, because I know that that is transformative. So if you are new, and we welcome you, or if you've done it before, you know that it is the actual documentation that makes this powerful. Because if you just say it, and I want you to say it too, it's not like a contract. It's not that commitment to yourself. So if you have not gotten paper or something to write down with, I want you to make sure that you are actually going to document the process we're going to go through. I see some of you are asking questions. I will answer them as we go forward. I might have to ask you to ask them again. But one question I do want to address right now is, somebody says, how do we make sure we don't have too many goals? So I think it's a very personal response here. I like to have somewhere between 7 and 10 professional and 7 and 10 personal, but not everybody is like that. I think that, anywhere between 3 and 5 is good, and that's what I'll drive you towards. But there's some people who can, set and accomplish more than that. So I say, do what feels achievable, because that's one of the big pieces in goal setting. All right. So before we can go into 2025, we have to reflect on 2024. And I will just say, because I do this process without you first, so that I can help drive you in it, it is emotional. So let's talk about some of the lows and then let's talk about some of the highs. So globally, there were significant lows this year. I ask my admin every year to kind of put together from like, that list that they create online of like terrible things that happened in the year. And so I was like, girl, this is very terrible. Like, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. I do want to highlight one for me that was a very disappointing piece, and I want to acknowledge it because I'm still in processing, which was Kamala Harris not winning the presidential election. That was very hard for me. And you should know that because it's my webinar. So let's talk about good things. Everything Beyonce is good. The end. Um, we have a lot. There's some on the page. I don't want to talk about what else happened that was bad, but if there's other things that are good that are not in here that you want to highlight, put them in the chat. What are some other good things that happened in 2024, nationally or internationally that um, you want to highlight or address? Because there definitely were some. And I don't want us to think that everything was bad in 2024. It wasn't. So I zoomed through the bad and spent a little time on the places that were good. Absolutely. KBG's book tour, I still have not gotten to the space of seeing her on tour, but I have seen her in the courtroom, which is lovely. Again, with the Metropolitan Black Bar Association. Um, Look, my daddy's here. Hi, Father. If you want everybody to see what you're saying, you have to put it on everyone. Uh, oh, yes, come on, Deltaversary. Yes, leadership conferences. Oh, I love conferences this year. Oh, yes, St. Lucia, which I went to for Thanksgiving, and I can tell you, I said to my husband, "What is it they decorated with the airport with before she won?" Because her picture is everywhere. So yes, Julian Alfred winning was fantastic. Yes. Oh, Snoop was awesome. Come on, right? I love his brand. Oh, okay. Thank you, Carl. I will shift the view so that folks can see this differently. Hold on. I'm going to stop for a minute and then I'm going to share. So you'll see my little head instead of the side by side. So that'll be easier. Better? I hope so. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, seeing people in person is wonderful. I still am acknowledging that we need to do so much more when it comes to connecting post-COVID. Oh, I'm gonna square my whole screen. Hold on. I want to only share that. There we go. I can actually use computers. It's fine. Okay. Thank you, Rachel, for sharing that with me. Oh, not like us. Yes, everybody but Drake did not love that. Like, love that. Missy Elliott on tour. Kendrick Lamar, absolutely. Okay. Olympics, yes. Nice. All right. So thank you for sharing those. And now I've got myself together. Let's talk about some reflections. All right. I can actually use the computer. So I wanted to share with you some highlights that I had. The way that I usually navigate the session is I share some highlights and I ask you to share some of your reflections as well. So just a little bit of what I got to do this year is I traveled 47,000 miles this year. I had 50 plus speaking events. I spoke to over 6,800 people. I attended 14 conferences. I presented at 14 retreats. Some of the places that I got to visit are listed there. I want to highlight one that you may not think I'm going to highlight, but I am, which is Louisville, Kentucky. I loved it so much. My husband and I are bourbon lovers, and we got to do a bourbon tour, and I got to visit twice, once in February with the ABA, and then my husband and I went together for just a weekend trip. So that's some of my highlights professionally for 2024. Looking forward to doing many more this year. Another highlight is I revamped my website. If you have not visited my website, shame on you, I'm sad. But please do visit it. I really had the chance to brighten it up, make it a little bit more Paula E. And my favorite compliment is when people say they can tell who I am by looking at my website, because that's what I want it to be. It's my home when you are not in my home. Speaking of my podcast, I had some wonderful guests, some of who are on this webinar. Shout out to my peeps who are on the webinar right now, and folks who I interviewed and had a chance to tell their story and talk about their brand this year. And I'm looking forward to doing this much more as we go forward. So again, if you have not listened to or subscribed to my podcast, it is one of my places of legacy that I want to leave the world with is making people, one, focus on their brands, and two, highlighting conversations with people who are fascinating. And that's one of the things that I want to do, and I do. So now, if you have not gotten a piece of paper or something to type with, then you need to do so now, because now we're going to start reflection. And how it's going to work is this. I want you to write down your answer and then type it into Menti, okay? Because what I've found in the past is that people have been like, I wrote it down, but now it's in your Menti and I don't know who said it. So please write it down. So your first question is this. 2024. Use 3 words or short phrases to describe last year. So again, we're going to take 3 minutes for this. Write it down for yourself and then put it into Menti. It'll create a word cloud, and then I'll share with you what you have said. How would you describe last year? So for myself, and I talked about this with my husband earlier, joy, which was my word of the year, so I have to use that. Also, communication and connection. I worked hard on being a better communicator, communicating with more people, and connecting strategically and thoughtfully with both colleagues, friends, clients, family. So, okay, I see some of you typing some stuff in. Good. You got about 2 minutes left. Really think about this. And, this is on the Menti, it is anonymous. So there is a there's a filter for curse words, so don't get crazy. But it is an opportunity for you to really think about this. How was it for you? And you'll see that the words that are shared the most will be bigger. So I'll share it with you when we get to the end of the time for this. But I'll just give you a heads up, a peek, that the largest word right now is growth and challenging. So many of you know, for me, 2023 was an extremely challenging year. And so 2024, the reason why I chose joy is because I really had a different perspective on joy. In that, although I know it, and I think we all know it, it is a reminder every time you have challenges in your life that when there are good times, to hold on to them. And I was very intentional about having as many good times as I could this year, and I did. And so I'm happy about that. So we've got about a minute left in terms of your responses to this, and about 60 people have responded on the Menti, which I will show you shortly. Okay. Oh, yes, Renee, Martha's Vineyard. Ah, yes, loved, loved, loved. Got a chance to go there for the first real time. I've gone before, but it was post, like, the season. This time was in the season. I was like, wow, whew, I loved it. Okay, with about 23 more seconds to go, I will share with you the word cloud that you have created with your words describing last year. And then we're going to take a big, deep breath when we look at it. I'm going to stop sharing here. You hear the drama of the time? Okay. All right, let's see what you got. Take a look at the word cloud. So the biggest words are challenging, growth, transformative, exhausting, disappointing, reflective, resilient, intentional, joy, trying, achievement. Some smaller words. Let me go a little closer to the screen. A lot to learn and produce, highs and lows, academic excellence, intrepid, oh, self-love, complex, interesting, insecure, joyful, tragic, bittersweet, accomplished, fruition, blessed, celebratory, I can speak, Dedication, freedom, one of my favorite words, disappointing, energizing. So again, I like to do this exercise because it's a reminder for us that every year, some people had fantastic, wonderful years, and some people really had a time of shift and reflection. So let's move from that. And I'm going to share here. The next question is, what 2024 achievement are you most proud of? So I'm going to kick this off. Remember, you're going to write it down for yourself first. And because you're writing it for yourself, you can write more than one. But what are you most proud of? And this is an unfair question, right? Because you probably have like a lot of them, but I like what it creates in terms of the content here. And I'll just share with you one of my proudest achievements of 2024, and I had many, but was interviewing Carla Harris twice. If you don't know who Carla Harris is, you will. You should, and you will. But that was wonderful for me. And so many of you who are on here were instrumental in that, in helping and attending and all of those things and supporting. I rarely get nervous, but I will share to you that I was nervous both times. And she's wonderful. And I am pleased that I had the opportunity to be in community with her. So someone asked where you can watch the interview. It will be on the Branding Room Only podcast. For those of you who don't see the proudest accomplishment, some of you do, but if you don't see it on yours, hit refresh on your screen, on your Menti. It'll catch up. So somebody said my sound went in and out. Did my sound? It might be yours. If you can hear me, raise your hand. Okay, good. All right. So it might have been your computer. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I'm going to share with you some of the proudest accomplishments. I'm not going to share the screen, but I'm going to share with you some of what has been said. Graduating law school, my second promotion, survival. Child, take a deep breath on that one. Achieved a long overdue promotion, standing up for myself and my family to my family of origin. Ooh, another survival. Obtaining employment, yes. Gaining insight on bad thought processes, publications, career development, another survival, accepting speaking engagements, connecting and uplifting our community through challenging times. Thank you. Being elected to leadership role of professional organization, taking time off. Somebody attended the WIL conference and meeting Carla Harris, shared love there. Getting my summer internship and getting into the clinic of my choice at school. Shout out to my law students on. New job. Here's one, addressing my generational trauma and beginning to heal. Whew. Volunteered to speak at a big conference, leading my office with integrity and love, securing my post-law school job, stepping into a new role at work, personal growth and awareness, impactful workshop in South Africa. Yes, come on, flex. Getting for a job I really wanted and getting it. Congratulations. Mediation training and certifications completed. Working on improving health and wellness. Getting sworn into the bar. Listening to my own voice. Here is one of my favorites. I said no to a bunch of activities, traditions, and commitments that I knew were not filling my cup for a long time, but that I felt like I had to do. Y'all, you know that every time I speak to you, I talk about my therapist, but she says, stop with the shoulds. We live too much in what we think we should do as opposed to what we want to do, and that helps us or hurts us in the long run. So saying no is a great thing. Let's see, being sworn into the bar, being paid to speak at 5 events, shout out to payment. Lost 25 pounds. Okay, all right. Co-led a DEI committee, traveling to Ghana with MVBA. Yes. Losing and maintaining weight loss. Come on, maintaining. Yes, Misty, I love this because it reminds us that even when years have been challenging, there still are high points that we can reflect on. Joined a book club and read 7 books. All right. All right, outside, identifying my energy vampires and quieting their voices in my life. I might put that on a t-shirt. Finding love. Yes, 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 yes. Celebrating my late mother's incredible legacy. Heart. Yes. Reaching my savings goal. Leaving my safe but unhealthy job. On. Being sworn in as president. Board refreshment. Becoming a professional coach. We need you. Let's see. Um, my dad entered hospice and I prioritized him and his care until his last breath. I'm proud that I made the time and I was with him and planned his funeral. He's my biggest cheerleader. Sending love to who shared that, and rest in power to your father. Made a bold move and left a professional environment that was abusive and landed in a much better place. Love that. Launched my business. Really proud of speaking up and advocating for the opportunity to join the sales team. Betting on myself. Led projects. I can speak. Completed my human rights certificate from University of Pennsylvania Carey Law School. Yes. Making it out alive. All of that. Dental health and fixing my smile. Growth of my corporate philanthropic unit and contributing $4 million. Yes. Come on, impact. All right. Increasing the New York State tuition assistance program for the first time in over 25 years. Yes. Y'all are out here. So I'm not going to read, oh, but I got to read this last one. Closer relationship with God. Our spiritual spaces, whomever you connect with, so important. And I think especially we're going to need it as we go into the unknown, which is always, right? All right. Whew. Okay. So I'm shifting the slide for Mentee. Before I move to the next question, just tell me, this is comments and questions. How did that exercise make you feel? How did that, hearing what some of the folks accomplished, how did that make you feel? I want to always grab onto joy as much as we can. Yes, it made me happy. It made me inspired as well. I'm glad. I'm glad. We need to find all the spaces that give us energy, right? So, oh yes, we have a lot of work to do, a lot. Okay, speaking of work, your next assignment is this, and these are going to get a little bit more challenging. I was letting you know right now. So, taking a deep breath. Which areas of life, for example, your career, relationships, health, felt the most fulfilling in 2024? So again, you're writing it down, and then you are going to share it on the Mentee. What felt fulfilling in 2024? When you think about this, think about, you know, was it, relationships that you had? Was it commitments that you made? Was it you saying no more? What are some of those things that felt fulfilling to you? Um, I will say for me, focusing on joy was a really great lens for me to really kind of see um, the silver lining, gold lining, whatever lining you want to call it, in many things, even the things that were very challenging. But I will say that where I did the best this year is in relationships, including my marriage, including my friendships, and also deepening relationships with colleagues and clients. So we'll look at some of these in the chat. Went back to choir practice. Love that. My children's successes. Oh, yes, you are definitely a daddy cheerleader, Mike. Oh, mentor second graders. Woo, child. Mm. Relationships. Let's see what else you got here. Relationship with parents, relationship with my beloveds, surrounding myself with more like-minded people. Oh, yes. Meeting new friends through my new hobby. Now I need to know what the new hobby is. Mental health and relationships, family, dating and love relationship. I achieved my goal of being in an exclusive relationship by fall 2024. Yes, yes, yes. Here is to love. Progress with weight loss, sobriety. Congratulations. Career achievements, career because it allowed me to be creative, and health because I remain disciplined. Congrats to you. A lot of world travel with friends and family. Absolutely. I will also say that being on a beach was a primary space for me this year, and I am glad that I did that and made that focus. I realized that water is very calming and centering for me. And um, so, yes. Oh, somebody traveled with their BFF to Geneva, Switzerland. Yes. Accomplished hard tasks that I've dragged my feet on for years. Celebrated my wins at work. Coached my daughter in soccer and completed most of my cases successfully. Congrats. Congrats to you for being a soccer coach. I can't with them kids. Spending more time reading my Bible. Love this. Creating real time for family, first time in a long time. Love that. Coaching youth golf. Flora, I'll come visit you. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, Ernest. I'm a fan of when we go to comedy shows. Let's see. Releasing the wrong relationships to focus on the right relationships and new relationships. Yes, yes, yes. Impactful performance, serving others, getting closer with family, and distancing myself from people who bring negativity. Health, taking care of myself. I went to the doctor for the first time in 10 years. Whew, come on, y'all. Okay. Increased nonprofit charitable board of director accomplishments. Yes. Invested in myself professionally for my business. Being a class mom for my son's class and prioritizing my kids, husband, and family. Love that. And shout out to class moms. I'm a big fan of them. Let's see. All right. That was awesome. Getting rid of people that are not good for my spirit. Health and relationship with my wife. Embracing being an empath, same. And learning how to cultivate and protect it. Water. Okay. That was, yes. Next question, y'all. And this one is one of those, hoo. Which areas of my life needed more attention or felt lacking in 2024? Which areas of my life needed more attention or felt lacking in 2024? So again, you're going to write this down for yourself. Post the session. I will be sending out resources. They'll also be on the website with forms that you can do this on your own with, and you can kind of take some of your answers and transport them over. But the reason why I'm spending so much time on this is because I have learned, and I've known this, but I've really, really learned it this year, is that if you don't reflect back to see where your wins were and to see where the challenges were, then you repeat some of the places where you have challenges because you haven't addressed them. My coach, Jacquette Timmons, who many of you know, because I speak about her being my coach all the time, she says over and over again, you have to continue to track what's going on, what's going well, what's not going well. But that will just be clear. I don't like doing it. I don't like doing it in real time, but I have really seen that. Oh, I didn't put the clock on. I'm gonna just go ahead and say we're there. I'll decide what time it is. Okay, there we go. That when you don't do it, you start doing the same things over again. And there's an accountability in seeing, here's what I said I was gonna do, and then here's what happened on a more consistent basis than annually. I know that some of you do reflection and goal setting once a year, and I'm a fan of just doing it, but what I have learned and what I will be incorporating more in 2025 is doing it on a much more consistent basis. Okay, let's see what needed more attention or felt lacking. Mental health, self-care, social connection. I was lonely. We have to make sure we find our communities, because I do think that even before COVID, but definitely since COVID, there is a crisis of folks who are lonely, and we can find spaces to create community, and we're going to need that so much more as we go forward. Love life, organization, dating, love and community, physical health, same. I will say the places that I did not do my best is I didn't move as much as I wanted to this year, and I gained weight this year. But again, not thinking about what I did, and I'm thinking going forward. Mental health and saying no to people, health challenges, career development and growth, relationship with my family, my spiritual life, my mental health, and take care of me. So there's a lot of wellness focus here. Did not take time for rest and reflection. Let's see. Somebody says financial, spent too much money. My own physical and mental health. So a lot of physical and mental health, my health and my marriage. Um, of course, I knew that my trainer is on here, and shout out to Jay. Everybody knows him. And my trainer, my photographer, he just sent me a message saying he's got you. I knew that once I said that he was going to say he got me. But those of you who don't know, Jay does sessions weekly with the Metropolitan Black Bar Association, but also daily. He does a virtual training session, and he will kick your butt, but you will look better. So there's that. I'll be back. I promise. I'm going to start with walking because I just haven't done that either. And I'll talk to you about New Year's and how I was dancing and my knees were like, sis, no. Anyway, so okay, a lot of health, romantic relationships, focus, let's see, doing what I was afraid of. Relationship with Christ was lacking, saying no when needed, trusting and investing in myself, understanding my children's childhood experiences. Wow. Yes, for many of you know that I have a 19-year-old daughter who is in college. She's at Spelman College, and I have a 12-year-old seventh grader. And for those of you who are parents and have kids that are at that or beyond, or coming up, sixth and seventh grade is the worst. I hate middle school. I hate it. I just find that kids are mean, and I don't like that. Kids, they smell weird, and they also have a lot of a lot of challenges in terms of just like how they interact with each other most. So shout out to that parent because I get it. Oh, hold on, that's not in order. Go back. Okay, hit refresh because I just went too far on the mentee. But the question that should be on the mentee right now is, what was your biggest takeaway from 2024? What was your biggest takeaway? Yes, Sharon, 12-year-olds. I'm not like I just oh, sigh. Love them. Yay, Spellman. Yes. Hi, Janina. Again, my podcast guests are on here. Um, and if y'all want to make sure that folks see your responses, make sure you shift the responses to everyone as opposed to just hosts and panelists, so everybody can see your responses in the chat. Okay, lessons learned. Your biggest takeaway from 2024. My friends are my everything. Happiness is a skill. Faith over fear wins all the time. I am greater than my challenges. Listening to my own inner voice more. It's okay to put myself first. Shout out to that. Stay focused. I can solve any problem, and problems don't last forever. How precious and brief this life is. I mean, it's the lesson that we keep learning over and over again, but I think that we get some reminders that are really they really make you reflect. I lost a few friends this year, and some friends too who got really sick, and it just reminds you that from one day to the next, things can be totally different, right? And we have to, again, joy. So time is non-refundable. Ugh. Transformation doesn't happen in solitude. Nothing grows in isolation. Black women are my safe space. Facts. Save yourself. Bet on yourself. I can do hard things. It's never too late to start over. The world will feel uncontrollable, but I have control over my world. That might be one of my mantras going into this year. Everything will be okay. What is two is must is. I don't know. Okay, maybe it was okay. Learning to be intentional at all times. Take care of your own health and well-being first and foremost before you can take care of anyone else. Blood isn't always thicker than water. Friends are the family you choose. God puts people in your life for lessons in love. Pay attention. I mean, um, okay. You can try again using the QR code on Menti. If you can't get it, then you can just put stuff in the chat. The family you choose is a big, big one. A big, big one. Yeah. Everything has its time. Just be patient, one day at a time. Small steps add up. My biggest takeaway from 2024 is that the best is yet to come. You can do this. It's okay to take a break. Don't sweat the silly stuff. Taking risks. Just keep swimming like Dory and Nemo. Joy cometh in the morning. Lack of mental and emotional freedom is debilitating. Ooh, y'all are talking, speak a word right now. Soulmates don't exist in life. Soulmates don't exist and life flies by. You need to prioritize making your own happiness if you want it. I will say that, I will give an and to that. I think that you don't just have one soulmate. I think that you have many soulmates. Yeah, And my father says, shit can happen to everyone. Ain't that the damn truth? Be your biggest and best cheerleader. From my therapist, repeating this over and over again. If you don't take care of yourself, who will? Facts. My therapist always says growth begins where comfort ends. Yes. I have to reprioritize myself. Preserving my peace is the key. Give myself grace. No is a complete sentence. Love yourself unconditionally. Uh, ooh, conversations are different based on who I surround myself with. It's important to be mindful of who is around me. Are they dream killers or dream feeders? Ooh, move at a restful pace. I think I'm going to take that because you will see that that kicks into my word of the year. Oh, thank you for that. Now we're going to reflect on gratitude. What are you most thankful for from 2024? So again, I know this is not fair to ask for one thing, but choose one or share a couple. What are you most thankful for? I will say that I am deeply grateful at all times for my husband. And many of you know that I say this often, but every morning I get up, even if I'm not with him, and I just say to myself, I'm grateful for my husband. It's something that a marriage counselor taught us at the beginning of our marriage, to just remember that even when they get on your nerves, and they do, that's just relationships, that you're still grateful for having them. And that has been a wonderful thing. And so that's one thing I'm grateful for. The other thing is beaches. Beaches. I'm grateful for beaches. And I'm grateful for great friends, um, and community. Let's see what we got. My partner, Kamala Harris, and hope. Oh, yes. The love of my family and friends who showed up for me. Amazing family and friends. Health, absolutely health. My family, my daughter, my husband's love and support of my dream. Yes. Life, being loved, my son, life, I'm still here. My personal board of directors, personal and professional, absolutely. My squad. Friends and family that love and deeply support me. Peace of mind, that part, that I just kept going, that I survived. My mom's full recovery after surgery in my life. My win with Black women community. Yes. My family and finishing my second to last semester of law school. Almost there. My financial status, my husband, my kids, my women's circles, my nature trails. Yes, outside people. I am grateful for naps. So there's that. Financial stability. Yes. Family, health, resources to travel. God made such provision for me during this year by turning some of the worst time of my life as a period of growth and healing. Love that. Sunsets, yes. The ability to chart my own course in life. Self-awareness. The sound health of my child after deep lack of health for them for the year before. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I know what it's like to have an ill child, and it is traumatic all the way around. So shout out to healing. Um, yes. Okay, I'm grateful for the reminders of my capacity to give and receive love. My husband, my daughter, my home, the privilege of being a lawyer, the ocean. Yes, the ocean. Kamala Harris, her leadership example, and for forgiving my 70,000 in student loan debt. Shout out. My children, my wife, my health, my family, a good bath, absolutely. Community, beaches, period. Yes. Having my own outdoor space. Yes. My husband and spa massages. Yes, spa massages. Yes, yes. Travel with family, self-awareness. I'm thankful for my community. Health is wealth, and me and my family. Thankful for my dynamic, hilarious, and brilliant daughter. I love all of that. Multiple times for reflection in my happy place. I think that we're talking about the same place, so same. All right. Love that. All right, let's get ready for the next one, and then we're almost done. This one is one that made me really think this year. What did you release? What did you let go of or stop doing in 2024? What did you let go of or stop doing in 2024? Working for free. Shout out to that. No mas, no more of that. Yes, I will say this. My free has to be my free. not somebody else's free. So the way that I navigate this, because I do have a docket that I reserve for places that mean something to me, that I only give free for organizations, people, initiatives that are of my choice, period. And so if not, then my standard answer is, unfortunately, that's not on my priority list this year. I wish you well, and here's some recommendations who you might want to reach out to, knowing that they are also paid speakers or whatever it is. Um, I I let go of my shoulds. I was living in a lot of shoulds. Again, I am a Black woman. I'm a child of immigrants. I'm a type A. I'm an Aquarius. Insert all of my, characteristics here that make me want to show up for people, and oftentimes do more to my detriment. And so, 100%. Stop at the shoulds. Definitely putting things through the lens of, does it bring me joy? Or is this within the space that I have chosen for myself? Oh, okay. I'm ready to start reading these. What did you release? I released people pleasing. I released nothing, and that's a problem. So, again, what I love about that reflection is that it is reflective, right? Like, the reason why we do this is to make sure we understand where we can do better. I let go of disinterested men. Yes, let them go. Because the persons who will be there are going to be there. So yes, I stopped downplaying my needs and wants to accommodate everyone else's needs. Same. Let go of expectations. This is turning into a therapy session, but yes. My therapist says that we do not do expectations. We can't do expectations because people will continue to disappoint us. I don't love that because I want to expect, but I realize I expect me from other people, and that is not the right standard. Caring about what people think about me. Come on. Somebody says, thank you to the person who said nothing. Um, I released my toxic relationship. Shout out to that. I stopped chasing people. There's no need to chase people. The people who are for you will be there for you. And I think that when we chase people or attention from folks, we actually take up space that can be for people to find us. Putting everyone's needs before mine. I let go of the fear of failure. I love that. I stopped overeating as much. Love that. The need to respond to energy draining people. Oh, I let go. I stopped loaning cash. Okay. um, I stopped extending myself beyond my capacity. I stopped thinking I have the solution to everyone's problems. Whoo, teach the people. I stopped saying yes to board roles that don't fulfill me. I stopped volunteering for things that don't light my fire. I stopped responsibility for caring for parents' emotional needs. That I st- I stopped. I let go of saving my sister and loving my ex. Ooh, that resonates. I let go of a workplace that does not value my excellence. Come on. It's a work in progress, but letting go of doing things because of status. I stopped tolerating disrespect and abuse. I stopped and let go of shoulds. Me too. Professional burnout, FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh yes, come over to the JOMO space, the joy of missing out. I'm a nice balance in between those two. Um, Trying to please everyone and everything everyone asks me, giving way too much than I get. I match energy now. I match energy now. All right. Oh, stop. Oh, stop. I let go of my vanity. I let go of my ex. I let go of people pleasing and being nice. I say this to my child all the time. I don't need you to be nice. It's nice if you're nice, but I don't need you to be nice. I need you to be kind. And sometimes we are um, pigeonholing ourselves into these spaces that we shouldn't be because we are trying to be nice. And I often think that sometimes we're not serving others by our niceness. I let go of a romantic relationship that no longer served me or them. Whoo! I let go of physical relationships that were not serving me. Okay, all right. I let go of identity associated with being a provider for others. I'm working on letting go of arguing with people on the internet. Good, because it is not that. I often say to folks, you are not that good that you are going to convince someone about whatever your stance is on the internet. And I don't argue in person, nor do I argue online. I think it's a bad use of our energy, but I get it. You know, I don't mind confrontation, but I don't like to argue. All right. I stopped helping users. Okay, now this is the last one of these reflection questions. In 3 words or phrases, it's going to create a word cloud for us again. List the obstacles that prevented you from accomplishing your 2024 goals if you weren't able to accomplish them. What were your obstacles? Yep, people don't know the difference between nice and kind. It's true. You know, I think that particularly in this society that we're in, we teach girls in particular, they have to be nice. And I think that that prevents them from speaking up, from leading in places they should be leading later on, from self-promoting strategically. So um, tell my daughter all the time, you don't have to be nice, but you do have to be kind. Lack of discipline. I mean, listen, the one thing that disappointments, and as you can see from our last slides that we had, there were several of them, is it can be kind of derailing, right? Where we lean into some of the comfort places, or we say, okay, I'll wait till whenever. And giving yourself grace is an important piece of this. But the reason why I do this uh, last exercise before we go into some of the best practice is because we need to really reflect on why. Why? I can tell you that I was too busy with busy. And that's something I've been working on with my coach. Like, I love being busy. I like to be out and about, like flit like a butterfly, but I want to be busy with the right things. I want to not be busy sometimes. I want to be able to sit and think and plan, right? And rest. So, um, really thinking about that. And I think a lot of people are challenged by that, that they think that because they're busy, that they are being impactful, or because they're busy, that they are getting stuff done. But sometimes busy means you're standing in place during the busyness as opposed to progressing. Well, with 1 minute to go, this word cloud is doing a lot. Oh, okay. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna show you. Lack of motivation. I feel that. I think that when it came to working out and moving more this year, it was part fear. For those of you who know, when I was sick the year before. The reason why I realized I was sick was that some things having to do with how I felt post workout. So I felt like afraid of getting there, but I've moved past that. Thank you, therapy. And also just comfort, right? Like I felt like this isn't gonna make me uncomfortable. I'm gonna have to wake up early. I'm gonna have to, I don't know, sweat, change my outfit. But to that end, as I think about what's gonna happen as we go forward, I did not like, thinking about my knees hurting when I was dancing or not looking the way I want to look in some of the outfits that I have, right? So those are the things that will encourage me to do differently as we go forward, that plus my trainer. So, all right, I'm gonna show you the word cloud now. Let me stop. Take a look at this. Fear, procrastination, lack of discipline, depression, time, me, distractions, lack of motivation, not saying no, family, burnout, worrying about others, comparison. Ooh, let me just stop for a minute. We have no competition. There's no need to compare ourselves to anyone else. Our journey is our own journey. And oftentimes when I'm speaking to folks about branding and self-promotion, I will say like it's important to know that your skill set, your experience, the way that you add value is your own. You have no competition. They're just people who do it similar to you, but they're not your competition. So thank you for allowing me to take that that detour, but it's important for me to call that out. Yes, Carl, comparison is a thief of joy. It does, because again, here's the thing. Often what we see of people's journey is their final result as opposed to their process. And so we're seeing people's final, but we are in our process. We're not even comparing on the right things, right? So let's see what else. Self-doubt, depression, lack of confidence, delegating and trusting. I prioritize a sick parent. Well, I understood. Worrying about others, haters, haters at work. Goals weren't clear. So this is again why this is important. Lack of surplus funds, understood, understood. Intentionality, lack of financial discipline, lack of true motivation, fear of letting boss down. So one thing that I continue to be reminded of is that we tend to literally sacrifice ourselves to when there's nothing left for jobs. And if nothing else that we saw from some of the news at the end of the year, that they will post the job that you have either died from, got sick from, or left the day after you're gone. So as important as we think we are, we're not that important. Now, it's different when it's your own business, right? Again, but still, I think that taking more space to reflect and then to plan is a helpful place. Exhaustion, tired, understand that is why I talked about naps. like we have to sleep. We're not getting enough sleep. We're not resting properly either. I just saw something about the fact that we're supposed to put down screens 2 hours before we go to bed. I was like, then what are we going to do? Like 2 hours before you go to bed? What? I don't know that I can do that, but I can wear those blue light thingies so that it feels less intense. But they said in order for you to get true good sleep, that you should put your screens down, all of them, like TV and phones. I'm like, that's what, yes. Or it includes TV. And I was like, then what am I going to do? I guess you could read a book, but I read my book on the screen too. Sigh. Okay, ran out of time management. That is a big one. Time. I will say the sit in the dark. I am not sitting in the dark. What I will say when it comes to time is that is a great place for you to learn from the reflections. And I'll stop sharing for a moment. Time management and what we perceive as time stuff. When we look at where we actually spend our time, I think that what the story we're telling ourselves and then the actual story tends to be a little bit different. For example, I'll talk to people about, oh, why didn't you get this business development thing done? And they'll be like, well, because I didn't have time. And then I will ask this question: what was the last show you binge watched? And again, I want you to have fun and have joy, but we choose where we use our time. And I am not ever going to say don't nap or don't take leisure time, because you should. But if we actually looked at the time blocks that we use and how we use them, we spend a lot of time messing around on our phones. That's what we do. Okay, let's move on to, let me share my screen. This is something that will be shared with you in the resources afterwards, both via email and also on my website. But you can take a screenshot of it too, make sure that I'm in it. But this will help you to kind of think through your 2024 some more too. Like I said, I will be sharing this with you. So you don't have to screenshot it now, but I just want to show you my favorite reflection questions are these. And I wanted to highlight these for you. Think about 1 to 3 people who were supportive of you. And then who in your network did not show up for you? Because that is helpful for you thinking about how you're going to prioritize relationships as you go forward. And I do think relationships are such a big part of our success factor that we have to really think about that. So don't worry, it's going to be shared with you. So, okay. Let me see what y'all saying. Who if you into? Who, okay. Listen to a podcast and music. Yes. 30 minutes before sleep. 2 hours is a lot, Patricia. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so let's talk about one of my favorite things, which is picking a theme word for the year. So why is this important? We have heard growing up that resolutions are the thing, but I think that folks, resolution feels very, it's like stuck and firm. And I like having a word because it's more like intentions. And we are going to talk about intentions some more, but I like to think about your word to help you guide throughout the year. Like I said, my joy for 2024 was the filter that I filtered everything through, right? Is this bringing me joy? Am I choosing this even though it doesn't bring me joy? So this is a way for you to manifest. And even in the years that I felt like were not great, my words still showed up. And I feel like you can probably make that up no matter what the word is, but work with me here. So here are some of my words from past years. So 2019 was manifest. 2020 was limitless. Now, the interesting thing, because we know 2020 sucked, but I did feel like limitless showed up for me in that I was not limited by the fact that I couldn't be outside with people, right? Like I was able to see that I could be impactful and still engage, even though I was at home, and boy, was I at home. Whew. Connect, and then I had like my small to possibilities was 2021. Um, then engage in 2022. That was like when everybody was coming back outside, thank goodness. Advance in 2023. And I will say this because I've mentioned to you that 2023 was a very hard year for me. The advancement for me was realizing I had to slow down. And that I was going to be slowed down even if I did not choose to slow down. So, oh, thank you. That dress is from Amazon, in case you're looking. Um, and that was for the MBBA holiday party. And then last year was joy, and it showed up big time, big time. All right, so if you have not looked on my Facebook, you will see my word of the year is going to be, it is move. It is move. And you'll see as we go forward, I have incorporated some quotes that have the word move into them to show you how I am using it as both a mantra, intentions, and inspiration. That was taken in Jamaica by my husband. And this was me in Jamaica. And I wrote move 2025. And it was such, I mean, I wanted to share this photo in addition to the cover one because um, Jamaica is just a joy space for me, and I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to be there several times this year. A quote for you. I don't care if you don't want to see my Jamaica pics, Carl. This is my year to move up, move on, and move through anything that stands in my way. So that's how move is showing up in many other ways, but this is it. So and you don't have to choose one now, but if you already know, using Menti, what is your theme word for this year? You can either put in Menti or in the chat or both. Remember to write this down. Love this part. Thrive. You know what I love about Thrive is that it rhymes to 2025. So Thrive in 2025, like we out here with hashtag bars. Hi Elka. Live. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Freedom. Freedom is, are there two Paulas on this? I'm loving this. Freedom is it's my sort of underlying word. I have a lot of words that a big word and I have smaller words and all the things that I do. Impact is always one. Joy is another one. Ease is another one. But I'm a big fan of freedom. Flow, rest, yes, love, thrive, purposeful. Love is another one of mine. Oh, bloom. Bloom is such a great word. Balance. Yes. Said with understanding that oftentimes balance doesn't look like equal, but it looks like considering what's going to take priority now. That's where balance is, not that it's equal. Oh, fire. Financial independence, retire early. Yes. Yes. I think there's like Facebook group. There's like whole groups about that, right? Yeah. Shout out to that because then we can go voting. Okay. What else do we have? Breakthrough. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Centering, reconnecting. Love. What else? Stillness. Oh, I love that because it's reflective and it actually works out well with the next one, which is intentionality. Um, Stillness is also sometimes thought of as stagnant, but it's not. I think that stillness gives you that reflection piece. And so it's a great one. All right, let me show you what you said on Menti and stop sharing. Take a look at this word cloud. Look at that. Focus, freedom, intentionality, breakthrough, transformation, go, shed. Ooh, shed, dance. So good. Do it uncomfortable. Next, realize, light, being still, simplify, fly, equity, commit, grace, realize, soar, smooth. Okay, all right. Easy. Yes, easy are always everything with ease. Push, manifesting, rebuild, grow, move. Yes, shout out to my move people. Shift, peace, discipline. Next, supernatural restoration. Come through. Surpass, wellness, solidarity, soar. Oh, soar is a great one too. Create, looking forward, rest, receive, 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 receive. Yes. Okay. Love it. And now we move on, my people. Okay, let's talk about intentions and goals. So when I first started doing these sessions, it was a goal setting session. And I realized the problem with it just being a goal setting session is that people would feel like they had failed if they did not reach their goal. And that is not the case. And so let's talk about intentions and some best practices here. I want you to think about intentions are like the path, right? It's what you're thinking about as you're going towards your goals. Goal is I did this thing, but intention is the journey, right? As opposed to just the destination, which is the goal. And this is important because think about this. If you say your goal is to lose 25 pounds by September and you lose 23, you've technically not accomplished your goal, but the intention has gotten you lots of results, right? So it's really thinking about what you have gained in the process. Okay. If there's any questions about that, you can ask on Menti. But I wanted to walk you through that because it's why I started that being a separate thing. So let's look at some example of what intentions can be, and starting off with relationships and romance. So by the end of 2025, I will strengthen my relationship with my partner by dedicating 1 weekend per month to distraction-free time together, as shown by improved communication, shared experiences, and more intimacy. And so this has both, it's a goal and intention because it's giving time, but it's talking about the how. That's where the intention comes in as well too, right? So I have a great question that we're going to go to later, but I'm going to just elevate it now. The question is, what's the best way to check in on my goals, and like how do I hold myself accountable after today? So it depends, right? I think that your what's the word? Your people, your board of directors, your family, friends, they are a helpful way of telling them what some of their goals are so that they can help hold you accountable. I do this process to hold myself accountable. You can put in your calendar at X amount of increments to check in on yourself and where you are. I'm doing that weekly. I love the vision board, which we'll talk about later, for accountability, because I look and remember. So there are lots of different ways in terms of accountability. There are apps for accountability. One app that I like is James Clear's, what's the book called? James Clear wrote Atomic Habits. He has an app, and that can help you to stay accountable to building some of your habits as well. So there's lots of ways. Oops, I went back and didn't read that one. Another one, by September 2025, I will cultivate meaningful connections by hosting 3 dinner gatherings with close friends and family, the ones I like. That's important. Okay, let's look about this for health and wellness. By March 31st, 2025, I will improve my cardiovascular health by exercising for 30 minutes 5 times a week, tracked by my fitness app, and increase endurance. Another one. By December 2025, I will enhance my mental wellness by meditating for 10 minutes daily, as tracked by my meditation app. This one is one of mine. I think one place that I used to be much more committed to, and that kind of fell off over the years, probably since COVID, which I guess makes sense. But I want to do this more because I felt like I have ADHD. I was able to focus much more and really center myself and connect better when I have a meditation wellness practice. And I love using guided meditations for that app. For those of you who are podcast listeners, if you look at the podcast that I did with Rudia Christel, we talked about this and he gave some great suggestions, and they're in the show notes for that as well. All right, one last one, something audacious. Here's my audacious that I want to do this year. If you can help, then do so. By October 2025, I will deliver a TED Talk on personal branding, taking on a new growth opportunity and receiving positive audience feedback. So that's one of my wants. And many of you know that I've wanted to do a TED Talk for many years now, but I've said it and really literally have done nothing to make it happen other than like say it. So this year I'm actually going to do something like, for example, I don't know, Google TED Talks, TEDx opportunities. Here's one that I'll never do, but I shout out to all of you who do. By November 2025, I will complete my first marathon by following a 24-week training plan as tracked by weekly mileage and race registration. Yes, yes. Everybody who can help me with the TEDx, please feel free to start sending me information about it. It's one of the reasons why I do it this way, because I want to tell you, because I believe that the magic that happens in this is that we put it out and people take the assignment, which we're going to do a little bit later. Okay. Now, so thank you. Okay. Another one of my move quotes. This year, I will move with intention, aligning my actions with my values and my dreams. So speaking of using the Menti or in the chat, share with me a phrase or quote that inspires you or reflects your values. Hi, Linda. Yay, Kim, thank you. So what are some of the things that you reflect on? You use as maybe a mantra when live and let live, fear kills more dreams than failure. Yes, the mind is everything. The love and care you have for yourself sets the standard for all other relationships. Deep breath. Give people an opportunity to say yes. Oh, I love that. You know why I love that? Because so often we will tell ourselves no for other people. So one of my smaller words inside my big word for this year is ask. I realize that I rarely ask people for things. People do not have any hesitation in asking me for stuff, but I rarely ask people for things. And the reason why I want that to be one of my things within my move is that in order for me to move, I need help. And so I need to ask. And so I love that. Let's see what else you got here. Service is the rent we pay for living. Progress over perfection. Oh, yes. Everything manifests and aligns for you. I believe that so deeply. God doesn't give you dreams without giving you the strength and ability to achieve them. Whew, discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement and accomplishment. Same, so serious. To love your neighbor as you love yourself requires that you love yourself. Oh, Ernest. Oh, wow. See the light in others and treat them as if that is all you see. I'm gonna try, Nina. I'm, I'm gonna take that as a personal. I'm gonna try because there's some people whose light is like very dark. Okay. Anywho, ships are safe in the harbor, but that's not why they were made. The best doesn't come easy. That's why there's nothing else like it. Facts. A candle's light increases as it gives its flame to another candle. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. When I'm sad, I try to do for others. Let's see. Live the question, a passage from Rilke, Letter to a Young Poet. Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. Yes. Leave things better than you found them. Absolutely. It's never right to do wrong. Yes. Hi, Desiree. One monkey don't stop no show. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This too shall pass. Amen. The body keeps the score. Listen. It does. When we are running ourselves ragged and we think, I got this, it's going to show up whether we like it or not. And I learned that the hard way. Let's see. I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I will change. I will be changing the things I cannot accept. Yes, I think I read that wrong, but FAFO. Exactly. Correct. I didn't come to count cows. I came to drink milk. Jamaican proverb. Yes. Okay, let's see another one. Stay well, stay safe. Be like a tree. Let the dead leaves drop. Give more to this world than you receive. Racism is a distraction. The fundamental purpose is to distract you from doing your work. Who's that? Is that Maya Angelou? I think I know who that is. It's either Maya or um Alice Walker. I can see the clip in my head. Minding your business protects your soul. Oop. Oh, Toni Morrison. I knew it was somebody Black. Thank you. Shout out. Okay. Psalms 133. Say yes first, then figure it out. Yeah, okay. If that is what inspires you, I'm gonna take it down. I'm gonna say, drink water, mind my business, my favorite soca song. Okay. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. MLK. When you know better, do better. When you learn, teach. When you get, give. Maya Angelou. You have not because you ask not. Okay, y'all coming for me, but yes, that's exactly right. It was a reflection. I literally had somebody say to me, I never offered something to you because you never asked me. And I was like, but don't you know and love me? Like, so it was a very good lesson. Let them from Mel Robbins. Yes, I've been seeing a lot of her content. Yes, if they do whatever, let them, right? It's kind of like, it makes me reflect on not having control. It makes me reflect on a lot of things, actually. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple more. New levels, new devils, more money, more problems. All the things, let go and let God. The universe is conspiring in your favor. Yes, I love this session for that. I feel like when we set these intentions together, the universe starts to say, okay, I see you. I see you. Okay, one more. Understanding that you can have everything you want, but not all at once. Oprah. Whoo, okay. Yes, plus one to new levels and devils. Like, I mean, my my accountant says, you want to have money problems, but not the same kind of money problems. I was like, shout out to that. I see you. Okay. My mom said to me many times, you can be the wind or you can be the leaf. And that helps me to really think about whether I am leading, controlling what I'm doing, and being intentional about what I'm doing, or am I just letting things happen to me? Um, I love this. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, because it helps you understand that everything we go through, if we wake up the next day, it's going to shift who we are and how we perceive the world. And then my business tagline and what I think about all things is engage your hustle, which does not mean to kill yourself doing things, but it means that if you are at this space, what is the next level you can get to? What's the way that you can do that next thing? And sometimes engaging your hustle means taking a nap. So there's that. All right, my next move quote, I will move forward with confidence, knowing every step I take brings me closer to my goals. Incorporating this move. So let's talk quickly about best practices for strategies and goal setting, and then we're going to get into some goal setting for y'all. So many of you, if you've done goal setting before, you will have heard about making sure your goals are SMART. Again, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, right? So saying that you're going to lose, 15 pounds by next week is not it's not realistic, it's not achievable. Well, it may be achievable, but it's not realistic. There's a lot, right? So thinking about actually saying what you're going to do, make sure that it sort of fits in this framework. Because when you don't put this framework around it, it can be for a very technical term, loosey-goosey, and not able to hold yourself accountable to it. And it's really hard to focus and achieve. So again, this is the way you do goals, but also remembering your intentions can be within this framework too. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to start with professional goals. Let me give you, my mouse is going crazy. Okay. First, for my professional goals, move mantra. I will move in alignment with my purpose, attracting abundance and growth in every area of my life. That's my move, work, and business mantra. Take a look at some of these examples of some goals. And then I want you to, using Menti, well, first write them out for yourself. What are 1 to 3 professional goals? This is professional. We will do personal after this that you have for 2025. So some examples here: earn enough income to retire by 55, join a paid board of directors in 2 years, improve team productivity by 25% in the next quarter, mentor 3 emerging professionals by the end of the year, complete a professional certification or advanced degree within the next 18 months. So again, it's the what is it and the when, right? So now thinking about this, write them down. And then if you would like, and I would like for you to take it to Menti. I guess I should have put timer on this one too. I'll just time myself to share. We'll do this. We'll hold for like 2 minutes on this one. See some of the ones coming in. Launch a website by the end of the first quarter. Awesome. If you need a recommendation for a web developer, folks who did my website are fantastic. Take a look at it's in the footer of my website. You can take a look. Women-owned company. They're fantastic. Be on a leadership committee for a childhood nonprofit I was in. Great. Remember what and by when. Complete my MDiv application by the end of the month. Move into a new role at my company or move on. Ooh, by when? Publish a book. By when? Try 3 places. By when? To inspire my team and improve our productivity and patient satisfaction goals by 2025. For 2025, I love that. Work towards FIRE. Yes. Paid board position at public company. Yes. Secure more paid speaking engagements. Love, love, love all of that. Great offer for a role that allows me the restful pace and balanced life that I envision for myself by the end of Q1. Obtain professional certificate by the end of the year and get promoted. Be an adjunct professor of family law at a local college. Oh, I love that. By when? Book research and first draft completed by June 2025. Samesies. Leave big law and join the C-suite by the end of 2025. Okay, come on. Complete professional certification by the end of the fiscal year. Become known for adding value in what and by when. Have my MV home fully rented by June 1st, 2025. Well, make sure you drop that link to me because I need to figure out where I'm going to be. Gain 2 new clients from my business by March. I love that. I love that. Find and start a new job in a healthy and fulfilling environment by the first half of 2025. Great. Write a book and become a certified personal trainer. Stop being a part of work committees that do not fill my cup and drain me. Yes. Successfully onboard new DEI director by the end of Q2. Yes, yes, yes. And this is going to be an interesting time in onboarding somebody new in diversity. Feel free to shout out and reach out to me if you need some help. I'll be admitted to the New York State Bar by the end of my current clerkship. I'll be employed as a litigation associate at a law firm. I'll become a board member at a bar association. Yes. Launching a podcast that speaks to Black men of all ages, but specifically for men over the age of 55, first quarter. Yes, I love that specificity. Publish my book by the end of Q3. Yes. Close projects totaling at least 7 figures by June 30th, 2025. Okay, then the dinner's on you after that. Launch my independent consulting firm by Q1. Win business from at least 2 to 3 clients by end of Q4. Yes. Yes. Get admitted to New York State Bar by December 2025. Yes, love that. Start my own legal, marketing, and design consulting business by the end of September 2025 or sooner. Oh, I love that. Form an LLC with my business partner by the end of April 2025. Love that. Make sure you have a great partnership agreement. I say that as somebody who, my favorite and most kind divorce I've ever had, the only one I've had, was with my former partner. I love her dearly, but I should have put more thought into how I partner with people first. And that's a lesson that I learned, is to have things written down so you can be clear. Let's see. Study and take and pass the CTFA exam by the end of 2025 and prepare blogging website by the end of Q1 of 2025. Love that. Engage with my board of directors by January 31st. Learn and go with my team by sharing my own knowledge gaps. Find a career coach who understands my path and vision. Well, funny you mentioned career coach. Number one, there's several people on here who are coaches and on my website, which will be shared in the resources. But if you go to paulaedgar.com/resources, you will see a list of coaches of color, of people who have been shared with me and referred to me, and I put them in a spreadsheet. I also have a list of recruiters of color as well on my website for free for anybody who needs them. All right, a couple more. Launch a website, start my running for judge of civil court. Yes, I'm excited. Continue to fundraise Law Student Human Rights Fellowship. I found it. I love that. Love that. Be a podcast guest by the end of second quarter. Love that. I have a podcast. More romantic times with my wife. Yes. And I know that you said with your wife, but I'll be happy to just come with you for vacations that have to do with the beach. It's fine. So anyway, just for making sure the accountability that it happens. So by December 2025, I will pay $30,000 of my student loan balance. Yes, I love that. Let's get to some financial freedom, or at least a little more looseness. Complete at least 2 paid mediations and facilitations by August 2025. Yes. All right. Y'all are doing a lot. I love these. Join Toastmasters by April 2025. Love it, love it, love it. And for those of you who are thinking about this to up your speaking game, there are several Toastmasters chapters that also have virtual stuff that you can practice stuff virtually too. So if you can't show up there, you can still do the practice. Awesome. Now, the next and hard part of this is, of the goals you just listed, what are the challenges to accomplishing them? Let's just go ahead and face that right up front. Ooh, I love it. Earn 25% more per month. I love that. Yes, Stephanie. Yes, there's some great bar associations where you are. Time. So what do they say that, okay, I'm going to mess up this quote, that we prioritize what's important. I don't know if that's a quote, but that's essentially what the tone and tenor of it is that start looking constructively at your time and how you use it, and decide if how you're currently using your time is the way that you want to use your time. And then where can you shift in terms of your scheduling? And might mean waking up earlier, might mean doing less of some of the things you have done in order to make that space for what you want, right? You can't look for new results by doing the same things you've done before. All right, let's see. Challenges, time and focus. Learning curve with a new job. I like staying home and being inside. We must get a little uncomfortable to grow. Focus, competing priorities, interviewing for and receiving that offer. Yes. Again, thinking about this. I know a lot of folks, think that they are really great interviewees, but if you're not actually testing it, right? Using some of your friends and connections to actually help you to hone some of the way you respond to things, then that may be a space for you to get some additional support. Procrastination, same Z's. Procrastination, I talked to my therapist about this the other day, is often how fear shows up, right? When we have goals that we know we want to get, that we know we can get, but we may be afraid to actually succeed, we may procrastinate. I read something recently that was talking about make sure your procrastination is productive so that if you're not doing one big thing, that you do some smaller things in it. So yes, hi, Savina. Yes, 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 yes. Ask, ask, ask. Okay. Asking for help when you need it. Again, I can't say it enough. It was such a clear realization for me when that person said to me, you didn't ask. So, and I was like, and we assume often that people, number one, know what we do, know what we want, and know how they can help us. And what I have learned is that they don't. And even if they do, remind them. So that being said, share with people how they can help you. Ask people how you can help them, right? We can, I think, do better with that in all ways. Okay. Let's go. Next up, personal goals. I love this so much. So now we just did professional, and now we must talk about personal. So go back, hit refresh if it doesn't say provide 1 to 3 personal goals for you because I shifted forward. So my personal goal mantra for move is each day I move closer to the person I'm meant to be, creating momentum for success and joy. Also, all of the photos that I'm using in today's session were taken by my photographer who's on here, Jay McClinton. So shout out to Jay. So some personal goals. Number one is just it like we my coach had me look at what my hourly rate was when I do things for it hourly, and then how much it costs to clean my house and how much time it costs to clean my house. And I was like, oh, okay. um, to be like many people in it and folks who were raised to think that having outsourcing things is a luxury. Um, I find, and I have found for many people who I've worked with and colleagues and my friends, is that outsourcing is the way to succeed. Because if we're spending time, again, if you love to clean and you like laundry, then fine. But it's not a good use of your time. And even if you may feel like financially you're not where you need to be, think about how you might free yourself up with time to learn, professional develop, do X thing better by outsourcing some of the things that you're spending time on. Okay, like this is really important. It's a mindset shift that, as a child of immigrants and the Black woman who, I think even if I wasn't taught it, I saw it. My mother did everything, right? That what do we need to be doing? Right? It's one thing if you choose to. Like I like to load the dishwasher because people don't know how to do it. And by people, I mean everybody in my house. But I choose that different than saying you have to. Like it is, it's not a luxury to have my house clean. It is a better use of my time to adjust my skill set, to learn more, to do more things. Exactly. Outsourcing is how you get balance, and it's also how you give yourself some space. What I need in my life is a personal folder, somebody to come to my house, and I'll get the laundry done. But I need somebody to fold. Yes, I know. See, you know what, Malika? You're exactly right. And stop telling people about who you were going to use because I don't want them to be too busy for us. So, um, Nina, I hate folding, so I don't. So, one of my personal goals for this year is to hang up clothes. I have a beautiful closet. It's color coordinated, it's wonderful. But if they're on the floor, then I don't get to see them. And because I travel a lot, I'll usually have a suitcase that just chills for like a good week or two. Anywho, so added this year, looking at therapy. If you're already in it, how can you take your therapy to the next level? I think that, like a lot of relationships, sometimes people get comfortable. So, really thinking about how you're using your therapy, not just as a place to be like, blah, this happened this week, but to navigate some of the childhood trauma, to get over some of your obstacles that exist, right? So, thinking about that. Rebuild my emergency fund after you're not working. Oh, yes, that's a great, great goal. I love that. I love that. And also, I love thinking about having an emergency fund. I'm like, emergency is, I had fun, so that's why I don't have an emergency fund. But anyway, okay, so I see some great goals coming in here. Run my gym's 5K in the spring. Get at least 7 hours of sleep each night. Um, if you have and wear one of those smartwatches, it is very sobering to go back and look at a month of your sleep patterns if you're not sleeping properly. So do so. Like I'm a late bird and an early riser, so I'm usually like a midnight and I wake up at 7. That's still time, right? But there were some times when it was like I'm going to bed at 2 and I'm waking up at 7. It's like, okay, I didn't sleep at all, but I do love and prioritize a nap. Increase movement by walking at least 5 times a week. Same. I want to do the same exact thing. Finding activity I enjoy doing regularly, make sure I get outside and move. Yes. Taking a few trips by myself. Love that. Not with family. I love that you put not with family. Not for work. Pamper myself more. Love that. Mindful movement, working out 2 to 3 times a week. Save money towards moving to a home closer to the beach. Yes. And then inviting Paula. Lose 25 pounds by July for my trip to Bali. Okay, trip to Bali. Come on. I like that. Going to Ghana to see the door of no return. Oh, I love that. And my daughter's going to Ghana with Spelman this year. I'm excited for her. Lose weight, be more mindful, spend more time with my wife. Love that. One of my personal goals is not just to spend the time, because I find like I spend time, but actually spend time where I'm not distracted. Right? It's time where it's just sitting around, like asking questions and interacting more. Do I have them here? Oh, yeah, I do. My husband and I got these relationship cards so we can ask each other questions. And if you listen to my podcast with Amber Wright, She is a communications coach, and she also does cards that you can use with your family and friends. I love them to just have as a way to not kind of ask the same questions like, how was your day, but ask deeper questions like, what today made you feel joy, things like that. Work on an investment strategy. Yes. I really love that I have prioritized formulating what I call my Voltron, my team Paula, including my financial advisor, who for the first time I was like, oh yeah, I enjoyed my conversation with you, because usually he's like, girl. So, anywho, I'll go on one friendship date at least once a month. I love that. I love that. Oh, crying more. Cheryl. So growing up, I thought of crying as a weakness. And I will say that throughout much of adulthood, I felt the same way. But it is the body's way of releasing some tension, right? And so when we are sad, if we allow ourselves to not hold it in and to actually cry, we are better off for it. Um, Similarly, and I say this without going into too many other details, but there are other bodily functions that we do and we have in our bodies that are good for us just to have no matter what, we are alone or with other people, to make ourselves better. That's all I'll say to that. Anywho, sign up for therapy, yes. Secure, reliable childcare, lose weight, help my daughter transition to her new school, enter a healthy relationship. Love that. Let's see, make sure I'm getting the support I need at home to accomplish my other goals. Oh, I love that. Have those conversations. Pastor at a church I used to go to used to say, you got to have straight talk for straight understanding, and you start at home, right? Oftentimes we're too passive aggressive. We expect people to know what we're feeling. We don't say what we need to say, or we don't remind people of the things that we need from them. And that is the people who we are in love with and the people who we love as well. Spend more time doing things for fun. Love that. Share with me. Become more comfortable being direct with people. That's exactly what I'm saying. So the challenge that we feel in being direct with somebody, is it worth the challenge that it's causing to us in not doing so? And that was a balancing thing that I had to really reflect on, holding in some of the things. And it's not being mean, right? It's being like, here's what needs to be said, and let's navigate from here. Um, you may not like it. There definitely have been things that have been said to me that I don't like, but that I needed to hear. We all need feedback. Building a community with my new location in Florida. Awesome. I mean, not Florida, because but awesome that you have a new community. I'll get the overdue MRI on my knee by end of January so I can exercise again. Yes, please. Please, let's not deprioritize our health. Lose more weight, set up a yoga practice, get Barbadian citizenship. Yes, I want to do the same thing. Daddy, we got to make that happen. Continue to respond instead of react. Oh, continue to respond instead of react. Let's all take a deep breath with that. I mean, dedicate an hour a day, 4 to 5 times a week to write my book. I love this. I've worked with a book coach this year, last year, and continuing into this year. And many of you who've done this session before know that I have been talking about this book for many years now, and I actually made significant movement towards it, and I'm so excited. And for all of you who are already authors and who know people who are agents and authors and people, I will be asking for help as I get to that space. So start thinking about how we can all make sure my book is a bestseller. That part. Enter into a committed romantic relationship by the end of the year. Okay, come on. Come on, romance. Get my house in order, work with a financial advisor, write my will, update retirement and life insurance benefits. Yes. I also did that this year. Carl, who is former past president of MBBA and who's on this webinar, if you're in New York City, or state, I guess, he is the person who is my estate planning attorney, and who did, will be the second version of what he's done for my estate plan. So important to, number one, have one, number two, review it to make sure it's up to date. I needed to shift some things, and I did, and I'm glad that I did so. So I love getting that in order. For many of you know that I talk about this a lot, that my mother and my parents had worked on their financial sort of house together, and had wills that they had done, but had not had them. My mother hadn't signed her will before she passed away. And so for me, it's very important to have my intentions post me not being here solidified and current. And it's, speaking of personal brand, I know people may not think about it in this way, but it really is like, how do you then solidify what your legacy is by saying what you want, right? And so think about if you haven't done your role, and I know many people I know who don't have them. So please, please, please think about your estate. Business coaches and resources. Yes, there are. So there are resources in my website that have the business coaches and regular coaches. So just a list of coaches. So on paulaedgar.com/resources, you will see that. Carl does not do New Jersey estate planning, but I'm sure Carl, who is on, can refer somebody in the chat, please. Expose our kids to more world travel, prepare estate plan. Good. Travel to West Africa for the first time. It is one of my goals. It's likely not going to happen this year, but who knows? We'll see. But it will hopefully happen in 2026. And if not, definitely 2027, because I would like to take my whole family to the country in the continent, which I've not been to yet, by then for my daughter's graduation from Spelman. Okay. All right, y'all. Excellent. So same thing with this. You're here now. Where? Tuning in remotely. Where are you? In a country in Africa? Victoria, I need to know. Where are you? Okay. Nigeria. Yes. Come on. International. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yay. Okay. So thinking about your personal goals. What are the challenges for the personal goals? And I'll just be very clear with you right now that one of my challenges is that I am so driven for making sure that my business and my professional goals happen that oftentimes I will deprioritize my personal ones. And I will be doing better with that this year. And so holding myself accountable by telling you, but just doing it generally. Some of my personal goals are to spend more individual time with my son, who is the child who is at home now and is 12. And I want him to continue to love me and hug me until he goes away to college. To have more date nights with my husband, to spend more time with my friends, this is always the case, to do things that bring me joy. Oh, good. We got a shout out for Crystal. Awesome. So the things that are the challenges is not making the time, it's prioritizing the time. The time is there. It's saying this is the time I'm going to spend, like putting date nights on the calendar, right? Because I travel a lot for my business and it's doing speaking engagements, to say when I know I'm not going to be someplace, and it's usually on the weekend, here, we're going to take this time. And now that my son doesn't need a babysitter, we can leave him as long as we're, somewhere close. So yes. So of the challenges to the personal goals you listed, what are the challenges to accomplishing them? Somebody says, not encountering the man God has chosen for me, or not choosing well. So many of you know that my side hustle thing that I have done that people don't know about, that I've done for folks, is Love Coach Paula. And let me just say a couple things about that. This is where intention setting is huge. If you are looking to be in a relationship, it is important for you to actually write down almost to the minute detail who you want, what they look like, what they smell like, what kinds of things they do for fun. You are not going to find the exact person who does those things, but there's something about the universe that when you actually document it and say, this is it. And I'm not talking about they're just attractive. I mean, they have a goatee, right? They, she's curly hair, literally down to, yes, father, love coach. I connect people all the time. I have made relationships. I have folks anyway, the point is the key that I have seen is that people will say, oh, I'm open to dating whoever, or I am. And I'm like, no. You have to be specific. You have to actually set the intention deeply and specifically. Ernest. It's so important to do that. It then helps. And then also for those of you who are looking at the apps and you're thinking about dating on the apps, please, please, please remember that the apps work with our anthropological needs. We see what we like first. So please use pictures that are good. Right? I still use pictures with folks' arm on the side of them. And I'm like, whose arm is that? Is it somebody you were dating? I don't understand. Or they're foggy. So think about how you want to be perceived and then let it do that. Also, in the order of how you're putting your dating profile, literally answer the questions. right? Don't put what you think that they want to hear. Put what is true for you and in the order that it is true for you, right? This is important. Okay. I will jump down off of my right, 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 Conway. It can't be that, right? It has to be that you say what you like. And truthfully, the way that connections happen is that people aren't necessarily looking for what is the same, but something that's going to balance, right? Or complement them. Okay, so what are the things that are challenging personal goals? Confidence, patience, needing to work with a personal trainer, getting out of my own way. I seek distractions to procrastinate. I hear you. Uncomfortable with change, same. Finding the people whose company I really enjoy. I will say this, I'm going to shout out again the bar associations. I love that I have been able to build relationships with people who I love through the bar associations because you spend time together doing the good work of the law. So if you're not a lawyer, think about professional associations that you can connect with. This for Juneteenth this in 2024, I did, I'm gonna figure out what it's called. I did a walk with a initiative called, I'll put it in the resources, but a friend of mine created this where people can go for walks at lunchtime. And it was fantastic. I mean, I met such wonderful people just doing this. It was like the hottest day of the year, but I did it for her. But again, think about how you can get yourself out there without it being too uncomfortable and doing things that you like to do. Um, so there. Okay. All right. About what I think about paid matchmakers, I think that I like paid matchmakers as long as you have already done what you need to do already for yourself without the payment. So what I just said, are you actually stating who it is you want and how you're going to add value to to them? Are you ready for a relationship? This is the question people don't answer truthfully enough for themselves, right? That they are still thinking about that 3 X's ago, or they are dealing with a loss or they're right that they're so you need to be ready for the love that you're asking for. But if all those things are true and you're just ready to outsource it, I'm all for it. Go for it. And but if you're not and you haven't done what you need to do, then you need to start to do some of those things. Think about how you get ready for everything else. So you go into trial, you making sure that you have whatever trial people say, all the trial things, right? Think about the relationship building and connecting in the same way. Am I going outside to be seen and connect? Right? Am I wasting my time with people who are not who I want? Am I like what are the actually put yourself through that test? Does my profile, if you were online, show the best of me? Have somebody look at it. It's one of my favorite things to do when I go with my friends because I'm like, that's an ugly picture. Like, why is that even on there? So again, yes, I love that. You need to be ready for the love you're asking for. It is so true. It's so true. So that being said, also one more thing. Tell people who love and know you that you are looking for love. Because I think that those are the best people to be able to put folks together because they know and hear and can look for you. And so often you're not actually saying, and that's another part of that asking that I'm saying that we should be doing. Okay. Now, in all things and in all places of the journey, we have to make sure we're celebrating our wins. And that's just, you know, we have to. Life is going to have its challenges. The more that we remember that we have some wins, whether it is I had 7 hours of sleep last night or I didn't eat that cake that I was going to eat the whole one, those are wins. So I thought I would, and I've been doing this kind of through this, but I'm going to set my intention and hold myself accountable. But I'm going to share with you my goals. This is my move mantra towards this. I'm ready to move towards opportunities that challenge and inspire me, leaving comfort zones behind. So I haven't done this before. This is the first time I'm actually doing this without just saying it. I'm actually writing it down. A part of my being accountable to myself. So be kind to me. Thank you. Okay. So I will embody my 2025 word move by exercising 3 times weekly. That can mean a walk. That can mean working out with Jay. That can mean other exercise. But I'm actually going to commit to moving 3 times weekly. I am going to complete my book by December 2025, hopefully before that. So yes, this is going to be the next year we're talking about this, the book will have been done. Period. All right. I want to grow my podcast audience by at least 25% by December of this year. I am having fascinating conversations with wonderful people, and the impact should be much broader. And I'll be asking for your help with that shortly. So that's one. I will secure at least 20 paid speaking engagements per quarter in 2025. So this year I had 50, and I would like to have more than that. So tell a friend who has a budget about this. Again, as I mentioned, I'm going to do a TED Talk on personal branding by December 2025. And finally, I will increase my LinkedIn followers to 25,000 people by December 2025. I'm at 17,000 right now. It's totally doable. If you're not following me on LinkedIn, please. Okay. So, oh, we have somebody offering to do a speed dating. And oh, yes. Where are you? We need to know where you are so that we can know how to make this happen. In New York, even better. It sounds to me like, I don't know, maybe a bar association connection event that could happen there too. Please, let's look at that. Valentine's Day, my birthday is coming up. My final one is I'll speak at least 10 conferences in 2025. So this year I attended 14 and spoke at 5. I want to speak at 10. So I'm loving the speed dating idea that's happening in the chat. Okay. Yes. Okay. So we will, so for connect with me, and I will put you in touch with some folks. But hopefully they are also going to connect with you. You can put your LinkedIn. But there's leadership from the Metropolitan Black Bar and the Garden State Bar on here already. Perhaps it's something they can do together, or other organizations that might want to do something there. Oh, no. These are not, listen, we are all good. I love it. And what I'll do is when this comes together, I'll make sure that I send it to everybody who's registered for this. And I'll put the information also on my website in the chat for people who watch on YouTube later on too. Thank you, Vernica. So those shoes, here's a fun story. Those shoes are, oh gosh, I'm gonna forget the name of I'll put it in the resources too. But many of you know I went to Deerfield Academy, and the person who made these shoes, and they are matched to your skin color, so they are true nude, is the proprietor of this company, which name I can't remember. It starts with a V, I know that. But I will make sure it goes into the chat. So, or in the resources when I share with you afterwards. So I am a part of an organization, a past fellow in an organization called Council of Urban Professionals, aka CUP. And we have a process that we do, and all of the times that we connect with each other as fellows and as in relationship with each other, where we do an ask and offer. So we can make an ask to folks, and then we can offer something to folks. Linda, I didn't know your brother went to Deerfield. Yes, come on. That was before me. That was before me, but assuming he was Black, I probably have seen a picture of him because there were only like 4 people there. Then, and also, okay. Ooh, yes, I see you, Jen Chen. Let me know where location it is. Okay, so here are my ask for you. Number 1, my ask is for you to share the experience of participating in this. And experience, if you are one of my clients or friends or knows about my work, is to share those things. Visibility and connectivity is how I get my business. Also, follow me on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. You might be following me on LinkedIn, but if you're not on YouTube and Instagram, again, please. Ooh, Carlsbad. Okay, I see you, Jen. Okay, follow my business on LinkedIn as well, because I'm trying to up my numbers there. And this is my biggest ask. You might think the other ones are the biggest one, but this is my biggest ask, is I want you to yes, I also have Blue Sky, but I'm not ready yet, Malika. So I'm going to talk about when I Blue Sky, but right now I am just focused on these, but shout out to reminding me. For my podcast, on any podcast platform that you love, my podcast is there. Branding Room Only is what it's called. The way that they elevate podcasts in terms of people being able to find it, et cetera, is by how many downloads it has, and also by how it's rated. So I know that I at least have 100 listeners consistently a week, but I do not have 100 people who have rated my podcast on any platform. And so my ask is to love me in this way. I really, 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 really would like this because I'm very proud of my podcast and I love it. And I know it's one of the ways I'm adding value to the world. And so if you could help by rating it highly, downloading it. I mean, I want you to listen to it. I have some fantastic, again, like I told you, Carla Harris is going to be on my podcast next year. All right. So now, my final one is a personal one. My daughter is, like I mentioned, she's a sophomore at Spelman. She is going to be going on a trip to France and Ghana with Spelman at the end of the school year. But after that, and she is a New Yorker, shout out to Brooklyn, she will be at home in New York. So she is a psychology major. But the great thing about psychology is that it can be applied to almost every single industry. I think that interest in sports, interest in entertainment, interest in not law. She said no to that, but places in which she also has a minor and an interest in photography and documentary filmmaking. If you have any referrals or thoughts about an internship for her for the summer, that's another way that you can love me. I would appreciate that. Let us make sure that our legacies are solidified by what our kids get to do. So those are my ask. My offer is specific to folks who are at law firms and who work in law firm administration. Every January, I do what's called Generous January, where I speak for free. As a consultant and a speaker, people pay me for what I do. But every January, I do strategic brainstorming sessions for free. This year, I'm committed to 20. I think that I already have, I think it's 11 that I already filled. But tell somebody who is in law firm professional development or law firm diversity, only law firms, because so many people have tried to sign up for this or not, only law firms, and they will be able to get some of my free, trusted advisorness and to, oh, awesome. Oh, thank you for dropping the internship stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So if you are from one of those places, from a law firm, doesn't matter the size of the law firm, but in professional development or diversity, you can schedule a free session here. It'll also be put into the resources. The resources should be available for everybody and sent to emails, not associates, only people who are in law firm diversity or professional development, but hopefully will then help the associates. But this is my free give to the world. Thank you, Serena. Now, I want to know what your tea is. Please, in the resources and in Menti, share what you use. What are your resources? What are the things that you use to make yourself and life easier, personally or professionally? So if we started already sharing some coaching, etc. I want to hear whomever, whatever. If you use apps, if you use, I don't know, spreadsheet, whatever it is, please share them so that I'm going to create a full list of all of the resources. Yes, you did, Andrea. Hi. So yes, please use you can put it in the chat too, or on Menti, because I know that we're all individually in our own silos using wonderful things, but we're not actually sharing them. So I want to use this for a place to share so that we can all have access to, because remember, we have no competition. But we can all make sure that we collectively get what we need. Oh yes, me and Google Calendar go together. Like if it's not on my calendar, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Let's see what else. Balance app timer. And for those of you who are still on, I'm going to be staying for another half an hour. So I'll be able to answer your specific questions. So if you have the time, I have the space and availability. But if you have to go, I got that too. And you can watch this later on YouTube for the other part. But please stay on. Calendly, Blink, Slack, and Zoom. I love Slack. Planner for Teams, ditchpatchhealth.com. At home urgent care. Oh, Calendly, absolutely. Calm app. Yes, I use Calm and I use Headspace as well. Yes. What are the things? Oh, consultants. Yes. Chat GPT. So that was my next question. I want to know, I want to know, and you can keep putting more resources in the chat. But tell me this, because I'm thinking about innovation. Have you used AI? I want to know if you have used AI. Because I have found in a lot of conversations that I have had with people recently, folks are saying that they do not use it. And one of the things that I'm concerned about is people getting left behind, right? And it's so important for us to think about how we can use some technology, until the computers take us over to our benefit. Um, sorry, before everybody leaves, if you had to go, it is what it is. I'm going to talk about vision boards. I wanted to do it later this year because I did a podcast about this. So you should listen to my podcast about vision boarding, but I'm going to show you in just a minute. So keep putting resources in Mentee and so basically people, 100% of everybody who responded said yes. Okay. So my next thing is those of you who know that I do a playlist every year. So if you have a hype song, tell me what your hype song is. Put it in the chat or put it in Mentee so that we can create our annual one. It's already started. So I'm telling you, you need to go on YouTube, go somewhere and start looking at as a beginner, how do I start using AI? We've been using AI for a long time without knowing it was AI, but now that we have access to it, we have to make sure we are using it. Oh my goodness. So the people are putting songs in. Glorilla, she was what I needed that I didn't know that I needed. And Carla Harris's song is the first song on a soundtrack. It's her, it's called something about winning. Can't remember the name, but it's the first one on soundtrack, and I'll be sharing the link with you. Yes, I love a little bit soca. Come on. Greatest Showman soundtrack. Yes. Brick House Commodores, again. Love. Thank you. Yes, it's called Born to Win. Thank you. Thank you, Nate. Yes. I love Glorilla. Like, I did not know. I love the way she pronounces every single thing. And I get hyped listening to all her songs. And I love the girl power of her collaborating with. I think it was not what I expected, but it's the first album I've listened to fully through in a very long time, over and over again, other than Beyonce. So shout out to that. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I mean, again, I think that it's not for everybody, but the inner Atlanta girl in me is okay. Keep putting in songs. I will make sure this all goes into the soundtrack. I'm going to keep moving. I want to remind you all that as we are doing our intentions and our goals, that setbacks are going to happen. Sometimes we're not going to reach the places that we want to reach, right? It's just the way that life works. But remember, it doesn't make sense for us to be mean to ourselves. It doesn't. It makes sense for us to be very thoughtful and graceful to ourselves and keep going, right? Like, unless you're not waking up the next day, you got more accomplishment, you got more time, you got more things that you can do. So now, as a almost final, not final because I'm going to continue talking here, but I want you to take a minute to answer this. And you can do it for yourself, writing it down. But I want you to close your eyes. Well, don't close it, but write it down. But think December 31st, 2025, I will have accomplished X. So I will say this. As the West Indians say, the Bajans, Lord spare my life. If I am here on December 31st, 2025, I will, number one, be in Jamaica, because I will never make that mistake again, not being in Jamaica on New Year's Eve. And number two, I will have finished my book. I will have done my TED Talk. I will have increased my LinkedIn followers. I will have dated my husband over and over again. I will have spent time with my son and my daughter. I will have loved my folks the way that they love me, and I will have made significant impact for my clients. So let me see what some of yours are. Identifying the direction I want to take in my career and having either completed it or taking significant real steps to get there. Starting a new job and back to financial stability. Have a job that pays what I want, be 10 pounds lighter, own a home, and be in a healthy relationship. Achieve my goal weight and look fantastic, flex. I will have loved on my family with abundance. Oh, I love that. I will have a passive income source. I will have maintained the weight loss, entered into and continued a healthy romantic relationship, and started a new job. Yes, I will recover and rebounded from 2024. Yeah, yes, Patricia, I was in Jamaica for New Year's Eve, and I don't the fact that I haven't been going for my entire it is magical. Magical. Spending time with my daughter in Jamaica. Ha ha, Daddy, I got you. Yes, you really need to, because I mean it's just fantastic. Have my Barbados condo, yes, so that I can come and visit it. Awesome. Vacation in Curacao for a week. Yes, the National Bar Association's Young Lawyers Division is going to Curacao in February. If you're not registered yet, you should do that. Um, Love, let's see, started the right job for me, hit 50 at my healthiest in a decade, lost 30 pounds, become a judge, purchase another property, travel even more in 2025, grow my real estate company, all of the goals on my 25 bingo card, book finished, launch a successful consulting firm, and finish my second year in the PhD program. Yes, lost 50 pounds. I need to finish my 2 books. I'll be married. Yes, I will have accomplished at least 4 international trips. Take me with you, Ernest. We'll have done as a extended family is wonderful. Oh, love that. Leadership role that then during me emotionally, one of these feeling energized. Facts on that. On December 31st, 2025, I will have earned at least 200,000 in commissions. I will have traveled to Africa and run another New York City marathon. Come on with that. And also, when you're running the marathon, send me a message because I am a professional marathon cheerer. So let me know. Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. Next up, let's quickly talk about vision boards. Um, those of you who have done this before know that I have vision boarded for a very long time, over a decade. And for me, it is a way for me I'm looking this way because my vision board is over there, for me to solidify the goals that I have and to remind myself every single time I look over. Oh yes, celebrating the National Bar Association in Chicago, the 100th year. We'll be there in July. Yeah, I'll be in Chicago, I think, 4 times this summer. Going to see Denzel in May after the MBBA gala. Yes, we will. And then Beyonce on tour, because hopefully that's what she's going to announce. Yes, yes, yes. And hi, other Paula. So nice to meet you, and thank you for coming. And make sure you watch the rest of this afterwards. So, all right, let me go back on this. Hold on. So there are many ways for you to do your vision board, right? But one of my favorite ways is to, like, when you're thinking about this, to think about what your theme word is, which you've already done, and then what we've done, what your professional goals, your personal goals. You can include financial goals, travel goals, how you want to volunteer, and then your stretch goals. And then they can look like this. You can put them here into this framework, or I'm going to show you a different framework. So you can coordinate off into these areas, or you can kind of, the thing is, it doesn't matter how it looks as long as it helps inspire you. That's the most important part about it. And so I was thinking about this earlier, where I give you these options, but my vision board does not follow these rules. It follows more these rules. The theme word is in the middle always. And then I have different goal areas. Usually the upper right is my family, personal, relationship. And the left is like vacation, travel, fun. Down at the bottom is professional and business. So yes, you can do it virtually. You can do it traditionally. I like to cut magazines, use stickers, etc. But I know people who put it on PowerPoint and use Pinterest. Shout out to Pinterest. Shout out to Wanji, who I've also interviewed for my podcast, which is also coming out next year. So you'll get to see that. She's the GC, or Chief Legal Officer of Pinterest. Do whatever makes it good for you, but do it. So once you've done the process of setting up those goals, use something to make sure you stay committed to it. And for those of you who are still on, right after I get through this, it'll be time for you to ask me whatever question you're asking, and I can just answer your questions. So these are some of my past vision boards that I've had. This was Engaged was a few years ago. Joy was this 2024's. And then here, is this year's. Move. So you can see the word impact is in here. I have ask here. This is the family. So I have my initials of my family here. I'm talking about things I love. Gratitude. I'm talking about, like, I have Jamaica here. I have LA. I have Las Vegas. I have vacay, financial freedom, and then I have like money stuff. So 100 million, yes, please. 10-4 is a list of one of the goals that I have. I want to do 10 presentations and 4 of my personal branding consulting sessions each month. TED for TED Talk. Books are magic for my book. So I find things in magazines, and then also stickers that resonate for me. So that's what it looks like. Say I have my daughter, college in the future. So that's that. So somebody says the vision boards were supposed to have pictures and not words. So there are people who do vision boards with just pictures. And there's people who do it with pictures and words, and there's people who do it with just words. So I like to mix up words that I've written, words that I've cut out, um, and pictures and stickers. The key is there's not a rule. It just has to be something that inspires you to meet the intentions and goals you have set for the year. So as we are closing and getting to the Q&A, if you are not connected with me on LinkedIn, that is your homework. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Connect with me everywhere. If you've taken any pictures during the session, and I hope that you did, use and post about it with the hashtag Ask Paula Says. And then I commit to doing this for free every single year. But if you would like to send a little love offering to one of the charities that I support, here they are. I ask that you give a minimum of $20.25. Again, branding. But give to any organization, any nonprofit that is going to be benefiting. We're going to need each other as much as we can and support folks. So definitely, please do this. And I'll be sharing those in the resources. And then I've mentioned it a couple times, but for mid-level and for senior executives, I have a new offer that I launched towards the end of last year, which is personal branding strategy sessions. Many of you know I started off as a coach, but I don't coach folks anymore. That's why I have the list of coaches on my website. Instead, I have these branding sessions will allow you to send me information ahead of time. That could be your business development plan, your LinkedIn, your bio, any of those things, up to 15 pages worth of things. I review, I think about what you've said in a pre-survey that I sent to you as well. Then we have 75 minutes worth of getting into the stuff. And then I come up with a plan for you to navigate your brand. I do government workshops as long as they have the money to pay for my sessions. So if you're interested in learning more about my personal branding strategy session, is on my website, and you can send me an email. But happily to say that this is one of my happy spaces because I'm doing what I want. As you know, I am a speaker for the most part. That's what I do mostly, as I speak at conferences for law firms, for corporations. And I speak about lots of things. And as some of these months come up, where they're thinking about I always say all of my diversity. So Black, women, diverse, all of these things coming up. Think about me, but I work with ERGs. I work with folks in professional development and in diversity. I speak at a lot of retreats. So please do think of me, and tell a friend. If you can't, use my services, somebody else can. And finally, I will be doing a 14-day personal branding challenge. So you'll be getting information about that in January from, I think it's the 15th until the 28th, whatever adds up to 14 days. So for folks who just want a little bit of help with their personal branding, I will be doing a challenge where you can actually start doing some of the things you need to do with my help and guidance. And then at the end of it, I'm going to do a Ask Paula session where folks can ask me questions about personal branding. So that's that. Lastly, and this will be sent to everybody via email who is on the live session, but for those of you who are watching it on YouTube, all of the resources the Monday after the session, so the 6th, will be on my website. So everything we've talked about, all the stuff from the chat that folks shared, will be put together in a pile of set of resources. Now, that being said, for those of you who are still on and want to talk to me using Menti, and I'll put the link in here again, please ask me questions, ask me whatever you'd like, and I will start to answer, give you some thoughts and feedback about, do I do sessions for church groups? I usually do not. No, I don't do, I have done in the past. I've done some things for young adults, but generally, no. I try to pass that on to folks who are more in that space now. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad. I love that folks are getting a benefit from this. This is one of the places where I feel like I can give some of the love that I have. And how can we get coached by Love Coach Paula? If you are one of so somebody who has my phone number, that's not a lot of people, then I will do it for you. If you are not, then that service is not available to you. It's for people who are in my intimate, close spaces. Otherwise, I'm going to start looking for people who are paid love coaches to have as resources to put also on my site. I'll be putting together a list of Paula's picks, so with my makeup artist, with my photographers in every location, different things so that you can have. So I'm going to work on that for first quarter. Do you know of any work from home opportunities for newly admitted attorneys? I do not. But folks in the chat, if you know of any work from home opportunities for newly admitted attorneys, please let me know. I mean, maybe there might be some for folks, for people. What are the places called where you work and you do doc review, but I can't remember what it's called. Sometimes they have virtual opportunities. What books do I recommend? Well, until mine is out. I what books do I recommend? Hmm, all of Carla Harris's books, every single one, including the audio versions of them, which I like. Um, Somebody wants to know if anybody can recommend a good virtual Toastmasters chapter. Um, I would take a look, put in your zip code on Toastmasters, and then also uh Google it. Somebody, oh yes, the memo is a great book. And then Minda has another book as well, which I just can't remember. But Minda was also on my podcast, and she was great. And she's got a movie coming out based on the memo as well. I'm trying to think what other books do I recommend. Hmm, somebody asked about podcasts. If you have podcasts that you recommend, please put them in the chat. Other than, somebody says Axiom as a place for somebody to look for virtual opportunities, try alternative legal service providers. Another book, oh yes, Negotiating While Black, which is by, um, oh, she's also on my podcast. I'm having obviously brain freeze. I can see her face in my foot of my face. I did a fireside chat with her. Damali, thank you, Damali Peterson. Thank you all, because clearly I didn't have lunch. But it's a great book, and it's not just for people who are like looking to negotiate, but people thinking about how to navigate generally. How do I find my personal board of directors as a new entrepreneur? Find people who are doing what you want to do or who have been doing it for a while. Ask for a 15-minute conversation. Ask them what they wish they knew in advance, and if there are other people who that you should talk to. Like literally use your network. Put it, be a little vulnerable. Put it on LinkedIn. Say, I'm a new entrepreneur. I really want to make sure that I am not going to go and over some of the potholes other people had to. Let me know what some of the resources are that you use. What are your recommendations? Ask. Like this is the key from this. I want to make sure you get. If you do not ask, then you do not get. Somebody recommended The Gap and the Gain. I think that's for books. Shonda Rhimes, The Year of Yes, is another one as well. It was one that I loved that year. I read it and I was like, I'm going to actually make my year of no. But I love reading it too. Oh, Right Within is the other books by Minda. Thank you. Thank you, Sonia. How do you go about seeking a mentor for personal development in your career? The way that I have found my mentors is by being in spaces with people who are doing what I want to do or who inspire me, and then not being weird, but asking, right? To say, can we keep in touch? I'd love for you to be a part of my success strategy, like things like that. Um, if you are an attorney, using the bar associations is a great way to find mentors by going to events, talking to the speakers, speaking to the leaders. And also remember that people can mentor you from afar. You don't actually have to speak with them. They can watch how they move. It's not copying it, but it's learning from their the way they navigate. Okay, let's see what else. Um, what's the best way to go about joining a paid board of directors? It's a good question. Number one is to make sure you have a profile that makes sure that you can be seen for what you want to be in the board of. What type of paid board? Is it a private board or a public board? Are you working with a recruiter on this? What is your profile? What is your skill set? What would they be looking for you to do? Is it a lot of times with paid board opportunities, they are looking for your subject matter expertise as opposed to if you're a lawyer, you're being a lawyer. So really think about what is the value add that you have in order to be found on a board? What kinds of boards you want to be on? Talk to people who are on boards, because what I do know, in addition to working with recruiters, that a lot of people find board opportunities because they tell people, and then folks know. Oh, another book is Unapologetically Ambitious by Shelley Archambault. I hope I said that right. Wired for Love, for Attachment Styles, and Doing That Work to Be Ready for a Relationship. The 12-Week Year. Oh, Sonia just put something in the chat, which we'll put in the resources about preparing yourself for a corporate board role. Thank you, Sonia. Signing up for the Posse list has been shown to be useful for those who are seeking remote or in-person document review. So there's another resource. Somebody shared Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. What's the best way to go about compiling your personal board of directors? Great question. I have a podcast on it. So I will make sure that podcast goes into the resources. Listen to it. I have a whole framework for how to do so. But essentially, you want that personal board of directors to be diverse. You don't want to hang out with just people who are like you. You want to make sure that you're getting exposure to new and different things in order to up your skill set and your opportunities, and to be supported by you. Somebody says they're having trouble formulating an audacious goal. So I don't need you to formulate an audacious goal. I think you need to set 3 to 5 professional, set 3 to 5 personal, and the audacious goal can come later on. But don't get stuck on that. Stick with the other two, and that will be beneficial. So some people ask some questions ahead of time, and I'll answer those as well. Somebody asked about how to stay accountable. And I can tell you that the way that I stay accountable is, like, again, doing sessions like this, but also telling people as much as I can, saying it, because, for example, my favorite accountability partner, who I didn't ask for, but who has become it, is Nicole Arundel, who will just, and also Nate St. Victor, who will just every now and again be like, hey, how's the book going? And again, I appreciate that, because it's like, here's what you said you wanted. And I want to make sure you do it. And I mentioned before that one of the things that I was challenged with, I was getting caught up in the busyness of everything. And it razor sets me to be like, oh, I forgot I said I wanted to do that. And now I got to come back to that. And so I appreciate the people in my life who do those things. So tell people, have them help you, ask, right? I find that also putting things out widely can make it accountable, right? So you can, if you say on social, this is what I'm going to do, some people are going to see it. That's why it is hard, right? Like when you say that you're going to do it, then you kind of need to, but that accountability is great. My favorite accountability structure, though, and this one that it has been a game changer for me this year, is having a coach. So I went from having coaching monthly to having coaching every other week, so that I cannot get past 2 weeks in a month without thinking about my goals. I know myself. Again, I have ADHD. I'm very busy. I've been with the busyness of it all. But I said, I'm going to put in place a paid resource for me to meet my goals. And so people are like, oh, I don't want to get a coach because my job doesn't pay for it yourself. It is a place that you can rely on. You can, and when you pay for it yourself, you're going to use it more. So that's my suggestion, recommendation. As I mentioned, I have a list of coaches on my website. It has been a game changer. I can't say that anymore. So that is, I pay for my accountability. How to manifest what you want and stick to actions that it takes. So again, SMART goals, setting those intentions, having the vision board. I also like to put in my calendar, like a reminder to myself, like look at my vision board. So all of 2024, I had on my calendar at 7:30 every day, joy story. So that was what brought me joy the day before, so that I can focus on my word of the year. So I'm going to have like something like move story. How did I move? Did I move? So that can be personally, professionally. Like I'm going to make sure that it doesn't just go away. And as I look to my left, I'm sitting at my desk. I look over here, my vision board is there. That is how I manifest. I make sure that I get in my own way when it comes to, somebody asked if I consider being an adjunct professor. I have, but I don't want to degrade anything. So I have been a guest presenter at several classes, but I don't want to have to grade anything. So that being said, if you have a course that you would like me to come and speak, I'm good with that, as long as I don't have to grade anything. Somebody says for lawyers, make sure to add business people to your network and board. Too many of us hang out with only lawyers. I would 100% agree. And actually, I'm glad you whoever wrote that. The other piece is too, a great place for connection, for community, and for business that people don't realize is arts organizations. So I used to be on the Apollo Young Patrons board. I met fantastic people during that opportunity. I know a lot of people do like think about where the arts are. I'm a member of the Brooklyn Museum. I know that Sonia, if she's still on, she is a member of the Writers Museum in Chicago and Girls Inc. So being a part of nonprofits and also thinking about the arts is a great way of getting some community and connecting with people who are not just like you. Okay. Other questions. What's the best way to become an adjunct professor with no teaching experience? I think for the most part, adjunct is about your expertise. I don't know that you necessarily have to have teaching experience to be an adjunct, but if I'm wrong, somebody stop me. But I know there's some people on who have been adjunct professors, and I think it's based on expertise. I'm sure there's some kind of onboarding of what you have to do in best practices when you do so. So I would say looking at some of the local schools, if you were a lawyer, looking at some of the law schools, because they definitely put things out usually in the early spring about what they're going to do for the fall. So think about that. Somebody asked this question, how do you push past fear? So my answer is twofold. So there are things that I'm scared of, right? There are things that make me nervous. And I've worked with people on navigating this as well. Fear is just a part of of experiences and emotions that we feel. Like any other emotion, acknowledge the emotion, say I'm experiencing this, and then wait for it to pass, and or say, look, I'm going to give you a time frame. I like to tell people to do this when it comes to them experiencing imposter syndrome. All right, cool. You got 10 minutes to navigate this. Now I got to figure out how to push forward and become Sasha Fierce or whoever I'm going to be in order to move next. So it's not that we are going to fight fear, but it's remembering that it's a lot of other things showing up that is not truly, I think, warranted, if that makes sense. Remember that being a little brave for yourself can reap so many different benefits. So do that. Let's see. What are some strategies for achieving a successful career pivot? So one, tell people. So looking at all of your, I call it your personal branding swag, your bio, your resume, like the things if you have a website, your LinkedIn, what does it say about what you used to do? And how can you start to shift some of the content to say what you want to do so that when people are looking for you in the new career pivot area, they find you and it makes sense. So, for example, on your LinkedIn headline, that might say something like recovering attorney now impacting individuals through executive coaching, right? Like you're again talking about the thing, but then showing something else. You also want to go to training and education and professional development with people or about the things that you want to pivot to so you can meet some folks. Somebody asked about the website. So I'm going to include that in the resources, but if you go to paulaedgar.com in the footer, the information is also there. But they're called Anchor Like Creative. So that's the name. I tell them I sent you. They really did a fantastic job. Another way is, again, networking, right? So thinking about somebody who's already in the pivot space and reaching out. The only thing you get from reaching out to somebody and not knowing them is them potentially not responding. And that leaves you in the exact same space that you were before. But what if they respond? What if they say, sure, I'll give you 15 minutes? So put yourself out there. Don't be weird or creepy, right? But say, I'm interested in this. I'm thinking about, people do this for me all the time. I'm thinking about being a speaker. I want to be a coach. Can I have 15 minutes of your time? And I normally will do that. I have narrowed down who and how, but I normally do. And so it doesn't take anything away from you to help somebody else to get up to speed faster, to give them some of the resources. Oh, great question. For those of us who are wanting to pivot, but we're making a pivot, but are keeping a day job, how do we take the same steps? So that is a really, really great question. I actually might do that for an Ask Paula session on my podcast. Actually, I think I will do that. One of the things I would do is to start thinking about what the transferable skills are in what you currently do and what you want to do and elevate those, right? So that that it makes it a little bit easier for people to see like how you might be able to do whatever the new thing is. Um, and because you are one of those people who do have my cell phone number, you can give me the actual details and I can tell you more specifics. But thinking about how they connect with each other, and if they have no connection at all, what are some of the skill sets that you've built that you can use to elevate? Then joining organizations that align with that, start to do some strategic networking, tell people who you trust. So it's similar, but you're going to be less visible about it because until you're ready to pivot. So, um, oh, wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that. Yes. I think, I should have made my word. Well, it's kind of my subword is ask. You don't get if you don't ask, right? The people are not out here just thinking about you. You have to give people the assignment. Like that's why I said, here are all the things that I want. Please help me because again, as I mentioned, I don't ask. Somebody asked about doing a 6-month check-in in June and July. I thought about it a couple of years ago, and then I realized June is literally my busiest time, and then July is when I start my summer sabbatical. So, no. But what I might do is to do a like an email check-in with y'all to just say, hey, and I can commit to that, but I don't know if I can commit to doing a full session. Or maybe I'll invite you to one of my Ask Paulas, which again, it's not the same, but there's something. And people always do this. You can just check in with me. Like you can just be like, "Hey, Paul, I attended your session." I actually love getting those. Like people have told me, I said I was going to have a baby, and I just had a baby. Here's a picture, or I got this new job, or I made $100,000. So please do tell me the goals that you've achieved and the intentions that you set from participating in this. All right, another question: how to create and accomplish multiple goals. So I talked to you about goal setting. Multiple goals is interesting because you want to think about how to prioritize them. So sometimes it's like thinking about what I want to do for the entire year, but thinking about what I want to do first, right? And what can I do in tandem? So it's getting them out there and then thinking about this. So like, for example, I am going to sit with my husband and say, let's think about these weekends now, right? That way I don't have to like worry about it. I already know. And if it has to shift, then I can say, well, it's got to shift because I have this thing to do, but I've already put it ahead of time. I do that with my coaching sessions. I book all of my coaching sessions for the entire year in January because I want to make sure I'm committing to what I'm committed to. So, and also making sure you do the check-in. So you can say, put on your calendar, I'm checking in on goal 1, goal 4, or I'm checking my list of goals. It's making sure they stay visible for you that makes it easier for them to stay and be accomplished. Okay. But don't get overwhelmed. Like, just as long as, again, speaking about move, as long as you're moving and not stagnant, you're good. Okay, so we're at 4:31. I want to give the folks who are online on live, if you have any last questions, I'm happy to stay on for another 10. But use me. Again, people pay for this. So if there are questions that I can answer right now, please let me know. I will be in touch with you with all the resources and to tell you about the personal branding challenge and lots of other information and to cull this all together. And you'll be on my mailing list going forward, so you'll see more. And if you haven't connected with me on LinkedIn, then shame on you and get it together. And please, please, please rate and follow my podcast. Please. It's like my baby. And so I really want it to be successful. And again, I'm having fantastic conversations. So I don't see any questions, but I will say to you, I always, always appreciate this time. It is my favorite way of spending the year and starting the year off. I will let you know, actually, I can tell you right now for those of you who are on, but I'll let everybody know afterwards. But next year's session is going to be on when I get back from Jamaica. That's when it's going to be. It's going to be on, it's probably going to be on Sunday the 4th. Depending on how long I stay in Jamaica. It's either going to be Sunday the 4th, or I might push it to Saturday the 10th when I know I'll be back. But I can't wait to hear what all you have done. Thank you for your engagement and have a wonderful, wonderful year and stay in touch. Y'all are the best. Be blessed. Bye.